lovely people, I hope you are doing well. So today I'm going to be doing a stitch with me, and I'm working on Lisa Parker's Rise of the Witches. It's a heaven and earth design, and obviously you've seen the photo of it on the thumbnail, but I'll just put a picture in for you now so you know what it will look like when it's finished. And I've got this section here to do, and it's all stitched in 959. I've deliberately left it, so I've got a new skein of floss to start with. So I've deliberately left it because I knew I was planning on doing this, and I've been planning to do this for a long time. So I've left this nice bit of block work so I can talk to you and not have to think about where I'm placing my stitching. I've got literally so much to tell you guys. So much has been happening, and I think when I tell you what I've been up to, that'll explain why there hasn't been an awful lot of stitching. So I'm going to get myself prepped up really, and then I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm up to. So I always I'm stitching this 2/1 on 18 count Aida. I like to do this, it's like a story keep version, this. So it's a little bit smaller, and it just sort of picks out the main detail of the pattern without a lot of the border, and I quite like them. I've stitched a story keep before, and I'm trying to put my Maggies on upside down and really enjoyed it. They do stitch it really quickly, and at the minute I'm like 22.6% of the way through, so I'm nearly a quarter of a way through this, and I only started it a few months ago, so I'm going to double up on the old floss here. I am a floss licker. I know it's disgusting, but you know, it's my work, and you know, who's gonna know? So I start off with the loop method when I'm working like this, and it's just nice and easy. I'm just gonna try and thread my needle, and obviously on camera under pressure it never goes through, does it? But there we go. So I'm going to make my first stitch. I always just start at the front like so, bring it down, sort of pass it through the front, and then I just flip. Just don't want to knock the iPad off, just flip it, rotate it over, and it's literally snagged on the back there, as you can see, and that's all you need to do. You don't even have to flip it. I just wanted to show you what it does, and you can just then stitch away. So just very, very simple. And then I just always sort of split the thread as I'm working and go through. So I'm going to zoom us in a little bit, and then I will start the convo with you. There we are. So we're ready to go. I think, yep, we're in shot and it's looking good. So where to start? Right, I don't know whether you remember, oh gosh, last year I signed up for a charity bike ride with my organisation, and obviously because of COVID it was pulled and it never happened. So by June last year we knew we weren't going to do it, so I never got to the point of fundraising, because I know on previous uploads I'd talked to you about what I might do in terms of fundraising, and I am going to share that with you today because I've got some things to show you. So it was postponed, which was a real shame, and then obviously it's kick-started again this year, but with some slight differences, and because of travel restrictions, and the company I work for doesn't allow us to travel for anything other than really urgent business, we're having to do the ride in the UK. So normally we would have ridden Paris to London, and literally what happens within the company is it started off in America, so they did the coast to coast in America, and different states would like literally pick up the baton, or a virtual baton from the group before, and then move it through America, and then they decided they were going to do it through Europe as well. So the ride would start, oh gosh, I don't even know, say for example, I don't know, I'm just thinking, say Switzerland, it goes further east than that, but say Switzerland, and then the Swiss would ride to France or Spain, and then the Spanish would then pick it up, end up in France, and then we'd pick up from the French team, or something along the lines of that. But yeah, because of travel restrictions, there's no Paris trip for me, and we are riding in North Wales. So they are in the process of creating a route, which I will share with you in due course. But we've got literally a 3-day ride through the very, very hilly North Wales. So I do know that the ride is going to be particularly arduous in terms of the climbing expectation. And essentially the ride is 300 miles over 3 days. And yeah, it's certainly going to be challenging. Now I have got some footage that I'm going to share with you, actually probably just now. I'm going to input it. So I recorded some of my cycling experience for you over the weekend just gone, so you can get a feel for what I've been doing and how tough this actually is going to be. So I'm going to insert that for you now, so enjoy watching that and sharing the pain with me. Morning guys, it's Saturday the 7th of August and yeah, it's just gone 5:30 in the morning. God, what do I look like? So I'm filming on my phone because I'm not taking the camera, so I'm not sure where my eyes will be because the camera's in a weird place on here. And I suspect I'm not looking at the camera, but anyway, this is just to give you a bit of an idea of what I'm being up to. So as you know, it is Saturday. We've just gone past 5:30 in the morning, and this has kind of been my weekend. So yesterday the training's really ramping up. So yesterday I did 50 miles, which is 80 kilometers. Now I did that on the indoor trainer after work yesterday. So I'm still pretty tired after that. So for anybody who's into cycling, I Swifted and kind of rode my way around Watopia and did quite a bit of climbing yesterday. And today I have 60 miles or 100k to do, and tomorrow I have 50 miles again, another 80k to do. So I must admit I'm absolutely exhausted. I've got waterproofs sort of a bit on and in my back pocket because today it's gonna absolutely chuck it down. I've got like this little peep cap that sort of keeps the rain out of your eyes, and also the sun if it was ever to be sunny here. But yeah, I've been caught out in the rain a number of times, so kind of learnt my lesson the hard way really. So I've got all of my waterproofs either on me or with me. So basically I'm gonna cycle my way over to Richmond initially, and then sort of pick it up from there. So I usually tend to have a bit of a rest in like a little village called Scorton. So that's about 20 miles away. So what I'll do is get myself over there, and then I usually sit at that point and have second breakfast. So it's quite funny, I'm usually eating my second breakfast at 7:30 in the morning. So I've had my Weetabix, I've had coffee, I've got sandwiches, saurine, you name it, water, all sorts of stuff with me. So yeah, I'll catch you a little bit further en route. I'll see you later, bye. I'll just introduce you to my bench. So I'm now in Scorton. Here's my lovely bike. It's different to what you saw before. So this was it's my birthday present earlier in the year off Tony. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's a Trecamonda SL5 with disc brakes and carbon frame, and it's just gorgeous. So I've been on the road, let me see if I can pick that up for you, for what is that, an hour, just over an hour and 20, and I'm 20 miles in, average speed of about just over 14 miles an hour, but it's quite a lot of climbing. So we've just gone 7 o'clock in the morning, and this is Scorton. So this is where I usually have my first major pit stop of the ride. So I'm caught as out the third of the way through. So yeah, I'm just going to sit down and have my sarnie. That's really funny, the peanut butter sarnie. Second breakfast at 7:15 in the morning. It's bonkers. I'm going to eat half of this, and then there's another little stop I have, sort of another 20 miles further down the road, that I will eat the other half. And then when I'm done, I'm going to head sort of out that way towards Richmond. So it's about 5 miles to the top of Richmond Hill, and I'll get a bit of footage for you up there, and then I'll sort of be coming down back through Scorton, and then sort of, and then there's like a really nice route, so it's not directly the route I've come from. It goes through some really nice little villages, which is where I tend to have my next break. There we are, I'm in beautiful Richmond, so I've just climbed up the bank. Not so bad. Yeah, I think the climbing that I did yesterday on Zwift is, yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge, but obviously managed to get up it no problem at all. So I'm going to do a bit of a loop back now, stop at Scorton again, have a malt love saurine and another drink, and then yeah, I'll see you at my next major pit stop. Here we go, I'm 40 miles in. I just thought I'd show you where I am. This is my little pit stop. So this is Great Smeaton, where I am at the moment. Oh, it's just a gorgeous little place. So I'm going to just ride back through the villages. So this is where I've just eaten the other half of my sarnie. It's my little favourite bench. I'm just going to turn it around and talk to you. Oh goodness, I look like a right bag of poo. So yeah, it's not been too bad actually. I did put my my sort of rain jacket on about 10 miles in, because it started to spit on a little bit, but to be honest, there's a real nasty headwind today. And sort of just before I stopped for the break, oh god, it was coming right in my face. And the stretch of the road that I was on was really busy as well, and some cars just give you space and some don't give you space, and oh honestly, they're my biggest bugbear. It's one of the reasons why I leave so early, is to just avoid the carnage on the roads. There's just some absolute idiots, and some will give you space, some won't. So if you are on the road, anybody, and there's a cyclist, please give them space. I don't know where they expect me to go. So this is the only thing about road cycling that I don't enjoy. But anyway, I don't know whether you can see. You probably can't, because they're tucked underneath my sort of straps of my helmet. So these are bone conducting earphones or headphones, so in essence I've got a little bit of music going on in the background. I can hear everything, and then obviously I've got my Garmin on the back. I might have told you about that at one point. It's a radar and it picks up everything that's coming up behind me, so I can see it perfectly on my little bike computer, so I know what's around me, I can hear it. But there's just a bit of like, it's only very low music going on in the background just to keep me company and motivate me a little bit, because I've lost my cycling buddy. He's gone back to the Middle East to do the work that he does over there. So he's gone for the rest of the summer now. So I'm out on my Todd doing the rest of the training, and it's tough, because I mean, I like to chat, and obviously there's a cycling club that I'm going to join, but with the way the training is, you can hear the wind. You can hear the wind. The way the training is at the minute, I don't want my first ride to be shit with them, and sort of go out for a 50 miler with them and not be able to keep up, because I've done like today 60 miles and then 50 days a day before. So with like 110 miles already in your legs, it's tough. So I've got another 20 to do, so I'm gonna crack on. I'll stop in about 10, have a malt loaf and probably a gel to get me home, and then yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Take care. Here we are, almost 50 miles in. So yeah, I've got to do 62. That's my target, because that will give me the 100k, which is a grand fondo. So I want the badge in Strava, but yeah, I am down for 62 miles anyway, the 100k. So I'm just going to stop. I'm in, oh, it's glorious, beautiful little place called Hutton Rugby. Oh, it's one of the most stunning places. So there's a really big, I'm going to ride down there in a minute, there's a big massive steep bank. It goes over a bridge, then up a big hill on the other side. So I'm going to do that in a minute, but beautiful. So yeah, I'll probably check in, well, I will check back in with you when I get home. So I'm just going to eat another malt loaf, a gel, and that will probably be it till I get home now. So just keeping myself as topped up with calories as I can. I just arrived home. I just wanted to show you the final distance. So 62.7 miles. I was just faffing around to make sure I'd definitely done the 100, so I've done nearly 101k, so I've gone over and I've got my Strava badge. But yeah, I'm going in the house now. I'm shattered. I'll see you later. Hello, it's Sunday the 8th. I'm just showing you this morning's ride. I've just literally walked through the door and I'm just about to save the ride to Strava, so I thought I'd show you that. So I have done this weekend, in total, just over 165 miles, possibly 166 miles. So shattered, and back to the stitching. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. It's really tough, but I must admit, like, the whole setup of it has been absolutely phenomenal. So I've got a coach, and I think I've told you this before, he's an Austrian Olympian. So I've actually been trained by a pro cycling coach, and he honestly has got me, like, literally standing on my head. If he tells me to stand on my head, I'm going to stand on my head if I think it's going to make me do better. Seriously, he's been absolutely amazing. So I've got a ride to do tonight, actually. So it's now Friday after work. I do have a ride to do in a bit, but it's blowing an absolute gale outside, and I'm just not doing it outside tonight. I'm going to go on my turbo trainer and Zwift it. There's just no way. And then I've actually got a day off tomorrow, which is the first weekend I've had off in about, I want to say 2 months, because we've been training flat out for about 5 months now to do this. And yeah, it's quite something. And then I'm riding again on Sunday, and then next week it really starts to ramp up. So the furthest I've gone on a single ride is 75 miles, which is 120k, and I did that about 3 weeks ago. So I'm certainly able to go quite a distance now, which is absolutely phenomenal. So I mentioned to you a while ago that I wanted to do some fundraising in line with what we do here with stitching and my Etsy shop and such like, and I was asking you for a few ideas about what I could do. So I've got 3 different things that I'm going to show you in a minute that will be going on my Etsy shop. So obviously what I'd love more than anything else is for you to sponsor me to do this, and obviously contribute to the organisation that we are riding for, and I'll put that in the description. So we are riding for Maggie's, and it's a UK based cancer charity. And what Maggie's do, and I never really thought about this, to be honest, until we started riding for them. So they've got centres all over the UK, but it's for people who get diagnosed with cancer and then don't really know where to go for support. So you go to your appointment, and there is a link. So I'm going to attach all of the fundraising page in the link below, and there is a video which sort of really sums it up, and it's quite moving, and I don't think I'll be able to insert it. If I can, I will, but it's obviously going to be in the link below, and you can go away and have a look at that if you choose to. But you go and get your diagnosis, and you're told by your physician that you've got cancer, and it's what happens after that. So where do you go for support? So financially, what happens? You know, some people have jobs that protect them for, terminal illness. Some people don't. So how would you go about seeking all of that advice? And then obviously the mental well-being side of it. And again, you do wonder how you would feel if you were told you did have cancer, and I can only imagine what that must feel like, but then have no way of getting support or anybody to talk to. Now this charity provide, as well as all sorts of advice, any type of advice and counselling. They provide all of the kind of mental health and well-being associated with it. So if you need, yoga classes or meditation classes or a group to go out and have a walk with, they provide all of that support mechanism that obviously a lot of the hospital don't. So in the UK you've got the Macmillan team who will support with some of that, but it's mainly about your care and how they're going to manage your care. But yeah, I mean, this charity are absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, more than anything in the world, you know, if you wanted to contribute to that, that would be amazing. And whatever I earn or I'm able to raise, the company double it. So there's about, I'm going to say a dozen of us riders going out and doing this. So we've each got a target of £3,000 each to raise, and then obviously the company will double that, whatever we make, and that all goes to the organisation. So obviously there's a couple of ways you could do this. I'm going to put the link in the box if you wanted to directly fund me. There's a link to the funding page there. But what I thought would be nice is if, yes, obviously you do contribute, but you get something back for it. So this is why I've created some items for you to buy, and then every single penny of that goes to the charity. So you get something nice for yourself for stitching, but then you're sort of giving a double whammy. So you get something for yourself, but then you're also contributing to an amazing charity as well. So every single penny of the money that you donate goes to charity. So for example, if you were to fund me directly, obviously that goes straight to the fundraiser page. But if you went to Etsy and you were to purchase one of the items that I'm going to show you in just a minute, all of that money is going to go. So I'm taking nothing out for the products that I've bought, and trust me, I've bought loads and loads of beads and bits and bobs to make these items for you. None of that, I'm not taking anything out, so I'm not taking any percentage out of it. And I'm also going to ship to you wherever in the world for free as well. So I'm going to cover the cost of the shipping out of my own money as well, because I really want to try as hard as I can to do as much for the charity as I can. And for me, this is the absolute best way of doing it. So I'm really hoping that you like what I've made, or I'm in the process of making, and you feel as though you'd really like those items, because obviously, as I said, I'm not taking anything out of that. So you could either sort of purchase through my Etsy store, or if you wanted to, I'm going to put my email in the link below as well. You can email me directly and order that way if you wanted to. And yeah, I'm going to show you what I've made now. So here is the pattern, or the actual artwork in all its glory. And my dad has done this in coloured pencil for us, and then I've converted it into a cross stitch pattern on Pick to Pat, and obviously spoke with those guys just to make sure there's no copyright issues or anything like that. But it's absolutely stunning. So my mum has claimed this original drawing to go on her wall and be framed, and obviously I'm going to stitch it and do exactly the same. So I named it Hope. Obviously, as you know, I'm riding for a cancer related charity, and yeah, I think obviously the title matches the sentiment perfectly, and I've included daffodils here. So in the UK we have a charity. I'm not riding for that particular charity, but we have the Macmillan Cancer Service, and their flower emblem is a daffodil, but also daffodils represent it represents hope and joy, and there's such a happy flower as well. I really want to include daffodils. And then obviously we have pink roses on the blue shoes as well, on the blue sandals. So that is the artwork. So I've turned that into a cross stitch pattern, and again, that is on my Etsy store, and I hope you like it as much as I do. I couldn't believe it when my dad showed me it. I just thought, wow, that just fits the bill for us perfectly, doesn't it? to go. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of exactly what it all looked like and how it would present itself. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, I've got one attached to this golden set of scissors there, so you can see what that would look like in relation to the scissors. And then the other design that I've done is this type here, so you can sort of hook it on with a little sort of claw lobster clasp and it will just hang like that. You could also put these on handbags or anything like that that you wanted to, so you don't have to necessarily put them onto scissor fobs. And then I have my needle minder, which obviously is exactly the same image as the design that my dad has done, and then you've got a little button back with the magnets. I just wanted to put something else on the back there. It just makes it a little bit easier, and when I buy needle minders and they've got something to actually grab hold of rather than just a magnet, I really do appreciate it. So I wanted to do that for you guys as well. So I just wanted to show you how it will arrive presented. So obviously I'm going to attach them to my cards as such, so it will come like this in the post, and your needle minder would come like this, obviously attached to a card as well. So my Etsy shop will be linked in the description box below, and obviously you can purchase any of these items in that way. Yeah, I hope you like it. So I've had to buy like a button badge maker, all sorts of different beads. Obviously, you know, I bead and I make jewellery, so I've used a lot of those supplies that I had originally, and then I bought all sorts of other stuff. So through the course of this week after work, I've just literally been sat in my craft room, busy with my head down, making stuff, and that's in between bike riding and doing all of the extra training. So yeah, as I said, I really hope you like what I've created. So just to let you know a little bit about the pattern. So it does come out full coverage because it takes everything off the image. So it's in total 12 full pages and a couple of partials. But how I'm going to stitch it is do the main sort of colour blocks of all the daffodils and the shoes, and then I'm going to sort of feather out with sort of just a diagonal, just a single back stitch for the rest of it, for the sort of grey area that my dad's put in around the pattern, and then not stitch the sort of papery bit around the edge where, you know, because obviously it's picked up the paper and the texture in the paper. It's up to you, you could do if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to actually sort of do the main colour block in the middle, and then, as I said, feather it out. But the pick to pat pattern, interestingly, which is a bit strange, does the bottom row first. So actually when you download the PDF off the Etsy store, or I email it to you directly, depending on which route you want to go down, so just bear that in mind as you go to start it. So I'm just going to pause a minute while I flip this over and fasten it off at the back. Here we go, I'm ready to go in. So next week I am going to Chester because we've got the instructors coming across to do a safety clinic with us, because obviously we need to be able to ride in a group. So obviously I've ridden with somebody before. Obviously I was riding with Tony, wasn't I, for until he's gone back away again. So I'm used to riding with somebody in front of me or behind me and sort of drafting and things like that. So I understand the concept of it, but obviously riding in a bigger group is a little bit early, well, completely alien to me. So they're going to take us through that and some bike handling techniques as well. So that will be good. So the event itself, just to give you a bit of an idea, runs the 17th, 18th and 19th of September. And I will, through the course of the next, 5 weeks or so, give you updates and let you know how I'm getting on from a training perspective and how it's all going. Obviously I'm going to get some footage or some photos of the safety clinic next week, and then do a monthly update with the stitching progress I've done, because there has been some stitching progress, believe it or not a lot, and then I'll just kind of come on and do little bits and bobs until the actual event itself. So that's the 3 days that we'll be doing it. So I would imagine it's going to be pretty wet and miserable in North Wales in sort of mid to late September. So we will see how that goes. But the actual setup is quite amazing. So I'll show you the route when I get it. We haven't quite got the route yet, but I would think we'll probably have that next week, because whilst the coaches are over doing the safety clinics, following that they're going to go and map the route for us in North Wales. So then they'll be able to give us kind of like a bit of an overview of what that's going to look like. I'm kind of keen to see what the elevation is going to be like. We have been warned it could be about 4,500 feet a day. Now the most I've ridden is about 2,500 feet, so I think that's going to be a true test for my old legs, isn't it? But on the actual event itself, we have kind of a group who do all of the logistics. So we have a support vehicle following us on the ride with a team of mechanics on there, and then there's also another team up front who go and set up kind of pit stops and food stations for us. We've got a medic with us, we've got a physiotherapist, we've got masseuses for our sports injury, and then obviously we're riding with our international Olympic level coaches. I mean, honestly, the whole experience has been amazing, but I've held off with everything because with the situation, and I'm not going to say the word, with the situation, the global situation, it's been one of those where it's been a little bit touch and go. So I do feel a bit bad all of a sudden announcing this and not being around for quite a bit, just purely because I've just been so unbelievably busy with a whole host of other things as well. So yeah, I do feel bad, but yeah, I just wasn't 100% sure that the whole thing was going to happen, and I didn't want to start raising money and it not happen. But also I've had to keep training as well in the background, so I'm able to do the mileage in September. So it's been one of those. So yeah, but I will, as I said, keep you posted. I hope you like the stuff. It's all live now, as I said, so go ahead and see if there's anything that you might like, to support an absolutely amazing charity and organisation. So what else? So the other things that have there's one big thing that's been really draining my time. So you know what I do for a living. So obviously I work for a pharmaceutical company. I'm a business manager with a team of 10 reps, and a lot of what I do is around coaching, development, sort of sales performance, in-call sales performance, all of that sort of stuff. So I thought, okay, what can I do to actually get better at that? But also what I want to do is add another string to my bow. And for those, I've spoken about this before, I'm a qualified clinical hypnotherapist, and I did my training, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago now, and I've not done a lot with it, but I do have sort of a bit of a natural sort of ability for stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, obviously with what's gone on globally, you do wonder about sustainability of... Sorry, my battery just went flat. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. So I was saying I'd never wanted to be in a position where, I was kind of out of my ear without a job. So I don't even know how this came about, but it was because obviously of the job I do. But just after Christmas this year, I have embarked on 2 courses, and I'm really lucky because my organisation is paying for one of them, and obviously I funded the other. And this is something else that I'm obviously going to offer out to you guys as well at some point when I've completed my training. So I am training for 2 qualifications. So the first is a certificate in life coaching. So I am in the process of becoming a qualified registered life coach, and the other qualification is a diploma, and that is in corporate performance coaching. So two things simultaneously. It's no wonder I have no time, is it? So if I'm not doing the coaching stuff, I'm on the bike training. So this last, where are we now? I don't even know, we're in August, aren't we? It's just been absolutely crazy. Last few months, honestly, I don't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. And obviously the job is insanely busy on top of that. So, this is why Stitchy time has been a little bit limited. So I'm hoping to have my certificate life coach finished by about February next year, and then the diploma completed not that long behind it. So yeah, I've paid for the life coach qualification, and my company have paid for the corporate performance element of it, because obviously that will support the job that I do, but it'll also allow me to support the other managers to become better at what they do as well. So there's like a bit of a double hit for the organisation there. So they get a better version of me, but also I've got tools and tips to show my direct reports, but also to share with other managers, to share with theirs. So obviously it's in their best interest to support our development. But obviously I'm going to do some of this work sort of in my own private time as well, and see if I can sort of get something moving from a coaching perspective. But it's always quite difficult when you're starting out, building up some clients and getting yourself some testimonials. So what I'll be doing as I qualify is offering my services free of charge to, I guess, probably on a first come first serve basis, or whatever. I'll obviously select random people perhaps to work with, and you'll get all of that sort of coaching, life coaching for free. So you'll get a block of sessions, in terms of what that might look like, maybe 6 sessions, and obviously I can work virtually, so I'll be able to Skype. It can be done over the phone, it can be done in person where appropriate, and that will be offered in lieu of a testimonial that I can use on a website that I'll eventually build. So obviously what that will mean is I'm able to coach and potentially set up a business if the type of role that I currently do now in the future becomes non-sustainable, because it's difficult. We work with the NHS here in the UK. That's our customer database by nature of what we sell, and obviously things were changing anyway within this industry, but I would say more so given the global pandemic and the fact that a lot of it's moved online. And I know if you've been to see a healthcare professional of any nature, possibly, and not always, you would have done that via telephone or via a computer web link, and that's how we've done a lot of our work over the last 18 months with the NHS. So what that means, who knows? I mean, obviously these guys are desperate to see people on a one-to-one, face-to-face, and we're starting to get far more requests now for the teams to be going in and engaging in person, because they like that sort of person-to-person sales experience and interaction is like, it's second to none, isn't it? People buy off people ultimately. But because it's digital and it's moved digital, you could be anywhere in the world and still do that job. So, you wonder whether or not they'll need everybody that we have long term. And this is always going to be the nature of the beast. My industry is very volatile at the best of times. You don't join the pharmaceutical industry for a career for life. You do get a lot of change and uncertainty within the job. it's a great job, don't get me wrong, I love it. I've done it for 22 years or things within that realm, and I wouldn't change it. But you never know what's around the corner. And I suppose you don't with any job, and if anything's taught us anything over the last 18 months, it's expect the unexpected. So for me, if I can, I just need to tie this off at the back, if I can sort of, I don't know, add another string to my bow, so to speak. Sorry, this is out of shot, you possibly might be able to see it still. Then I'm kind of future-proofing myself a little bit in a way. So that's what I've been doing, and I will keep you posted on that. But I've honestly been learning so much about, oh God, I love that sort of thing. But I've been learning so much about me as well through the process. It's been a real, like this last year has been a real, the only way I can describe it is a bit of a journey for me in terms of my own personal growth and development, and it's been amazing, to be honest. So, you know, when something good can come out of something so awful, I was marking my stitches off. I was telling you about my new love of Pattern Keeper, wasn't I? Oh my God, I love this app. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. I honestly swear to God, I love it. So that's what I've been doing. And obviously the other thing linked to that as well, so that's not the only thing. So yeah, I've got the bike ride, you know, massive intensive training. I've got a certificate running in the background, a diploma running in the background for coaching. I've decided, and it's something I dabbled with a number of years ago and then stopped, and then picked back up again recently. But I'd say probably about 6 weeks ago, I kind of had this urge to do it. Now, and this is probably linked to my star sign as well. So I'm born in March, so I'm a Pisces. And Pisces are by nature quite intuitive. And I've always kind of had I'm not saying it's not psychic abilities by any stretch, I'm not psychic, but just abilities to be able to, I can read people really, really well. And I kind of, and this has served me well being a manager. And if any of you who are watching this are people managers, you'll know this. You know when you know, don't you? I sort of know stuff. And it's not that I know things about people, I just know stuff. So I always know if somebody's swinging the lead. I get this gut feeling. And I tell you, like, my solar plexus reflex or chakra is never wrong. I'm so tuned in to stuff like that. I really am. But I am quite an intuitive person. And even as a kid, when I was at school, like especially in infants and juniors, my teachers would always report to my parents and just say, you know, she's great, she's a bright kid, but she's always away with the fairies. Like she's a right dolly daydreamer, and she's often got like, you know, this glazed expression on her face, and she's in a world of her own. And you know what, that has never actually changed, and I am a bit like that. You know, I can be quite a space baby, and I'm also incredibly imaginative as well. So it is a Pisces trait, and if any of you on the line are Pisces, you'll know exactly what I mean. We are quite emotional and intuitive individuals, and because of that, as I said, I've dabbled with it before, but I've started to learn to read the tarot. No, people are thinking, what? Yeah. So I'm in the process of learning the tarot. And obviously I'm learning the 78 cards in the tarot deck, as you may or may not be aware, each having its own specific individual meaning. So I'm working my way through that, but also from an intuitive perspective as well. You know, really starting to tune into that skill that I have and really develop that. And I know it sounds all a bit weird, so don't think it's completely weird, but I had a go with it before, and I wasn't too bad. But obviously it's another skill, isn't it? And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and you know, watching quite a bit of YouTube in and around that as well. There's some great people. So I listen to quite a lot of readings as well, and I've learnt a lot through listening to the readings, and how the cards align, and obviously each one has its own specific meaning, but when it's laid out with others and it comes out in whatever spread you do or next to something else, it sort of alters its meaning slightly. So I've been doing a lot of that, obviously watching a lot of you guys as well, on FlossTube. And then obviously watching a lot around coaching and personal development as well. So it's been wild, and there's just not enough hours in the day for me. There really isn't. Honestly, I barely sleep now because I've got so much to do. Even with the bike riding, and I said this in the VT I showed you. I'm up and I'm out at like 5 a.m. just to get the bike ride over before the traffic gets crazy. And then I'm home and I'm doing stuff. So the house is a bear pit. That's the one thing that's suffered, is the house is an absolute bear pit. And I really want to get to grips with the housework over the next few weeks. I really must do that. And start, I want to have an autumn clean, not a spring clean. And just really get myself organised. Because I tell you, if I was burgled, the burglar would leave because they would think I'd already been done over. So that's how bad it is. I really do need to get to grips. I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit further. Actually, I could probably do that. Oh, it's blurred. I think that's about the final zoom point before it's going to go off. But it's just basic cross stitching. I think you know what I'm doing here, don't you? But it's been very interesting. So I think this is probably giving you a bit of a gist of how the last few months have panned out for me. I hope it does, and I hope you forgive me for being a little bit absent on the FlossTube front. But I will, over the course of the next few weeks, get that back on track, because obviously I won't be training as crazily as I am after the ride, and then I'll be concentrating on the 2 courses that I've got going, predominantly to get myself qualified and through and off as early as I can next year, really. And I'll keep you posted on that, because as I said, I'm happy to share my skills with you as and when that happens. So in terms of family, my mum and dad are doing great, and thank you to everybody in the comments who regularly asks about my mum and dad. They're absolutely fine. My dad especially, I mean, he's as fit as a fiddle, my dad. He doesn't stop. My mum has had a bit of a challenge. Sorry, my needle's just popped off. From a health perspective, nothing sort of overly serious, so she is well, but she had a total knee replacement earlier on in the year. So when was it? Late January, early February, and it's gone well. It has gone well, but obviously the recovery has been really difficult for her, and I think a lot of you will have seen footage of my mum. I've shared it on here, and obviously my other channel, which again is asleep and dormant at the minute, and needs a bit of revival once all of this madness is through. You know how fit she is, and she's not very old either. She's still really young. The recovery's been awful for her. Such a tough surgery to go through for anybody. Really, really barbaric. I mean, I know because I was a nurse, and obviously I know because I've worked in the orthopaedic field in this type of job, and when I was nursing, so I know what they do in a knee surgery, and obviously I didn't tell her, especially for a total knee replacement, and she can't tolerate painkillers at all. They just don't agree with her. She feels nauseous with it. They make her dizzy. She just doesn't tolerate it. So she's gone through major surgery on pretty much paracetamol and had to get this knee joint moving well. So she has really suffered as a result of that. And for those of you who've met her on screen here, you know how fit and vibrant she is, and she was always into a keep fit. At one point, I would say maybe 2 years ago she was fitter than me. Both my parents were fitter than me a couple of years ago till I really got into the fitness. And obviously now training for the ride, I'm the fittest I've ever been, and probably the fittest I will ever be in my life at this point. And she, to go from somebody who is doing, Peloton spin classes and all different sort of aerobic workouts and boxercise to being able to do very, very little. It's been really tough for her from that point of view. So it does sort of drag her down a little bit, bless her. But obviously her having Belle, the little Maltese puppy, well, she's not a puppy now, is she? She's a year and a half old, or just gone a year they've had her. She's sort of been, a real blessing for both my mum and dad, actually, something to really focus on. And it's, in a way, been able to stop my mum dwelling on everything that's going on for her, which has been really tough. So, yeah, really, really difficult. And Daisy's doing amazingly well. I'm just going to mark off some stitches here whilst I chat to you. Yeah, Daisy's been absolutely awesome. So she was spayed. Oh, when did I have Daisy spayed? Or neutered, for those who don't know that terminology. About 5 weeks ago for Daisy. And she's been brilliant. No dramas with her. Really, really fit and well. Sorry, I'm still marking off the stitches. I've been doing it for a bit and I've just realised how many stitches I've actually put in. I just wanted to do a little bit of a tot up. I've done 162 stitches while I've sat here talking to you a lot. Isn't that good? So Daisy's doing very well. In fact, she's just down here next to me, asleep on the chair. So she's great as well. Everybody's well. So yeah, all in as good a shape as we can be, I guess. But I did really just want to come on and sort of have a chat to you and show you what I've been doing. But as I said, with the ride and the fundraising, I will sort of give everybody a bit of an update as we go. But as I said, all the links are below, and you have my absolute 100% guarantee that if you order through the Etsy store, everything goes to the charity. And obviously if you feel a bit uncomfortable doing that and you want to, email me directly, and obviously you can contribute to the fundraiser page, and then I can send stuff to you. If you provide me with your home address, I can do it that way. I really don't mind how you want to do it. Yeah, it's been lovely catching up with you all, and I hope you're all keeping well. I do appreciate every single one of you, I really do, and I will get so much better at responding to the comments. I know I'm absolutely diabolical at that. I am awful, but I've just been literally swamped with various other stuff, and I know I keep saying it, and I'm sorry. But yeah, it's just been manic. So with that, I'm going to love you and leave you. I don't want this to be a marathon long. I think it's probably going to be quite a lengthy upload as it is. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's past an hour or so of your stitchy time listening to me ramble. But I will be back, I promise, probably next weekend with some overview of the training so far and the safety clinic. Hopefully I'll have some footage of that for you, and I will do my stitchy update progress for you at the same time. So with that, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.